What is up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video on Lex Alexis. Today it is episode 4 of the transfer show and I'm telling you this right now, we have got a lot to cover. The rumour mill has really spun this past week. We are getting deals left, right and centre. Even this morning we've had up to 3 new deals. So things are going to get really interesting now. Things are getting exciting. We've got over 30 transfers made since my last video, which is incredible. So the confirmed transfers part is going to take most of the video. We'll spend a little bit of time on rumours as well, but we're definitely starting to get the signings in now. I'm going to mix in a little bit with the Premier League teams as well, but overall it's going to be mostly Championship. If you guys like what we see, please give the video a like and just try to help the channel. Please do hit the subscribe button as we're trying to get to 1,200 subscribers. That we really appreciate it. Please share this channel to as many people as you can. All of that helps too. But without any further ado, let's talk about the latest transfers. One transfer that happened a couple of days ago was Kasey Palmer. He has left Bristol City to join Coventry on an undisclosed fee. And the thing I find about Kasey Palmer, sometimes his work rate is frowned upon with Bristol City, but I find that he's a very luxurious player. Given the ball, he can dribble past a couple of people and can be a good flair player. But when he's got to actually work and graft, it can be a bit tricky for him. Now, the thing is with Coventry, I looked at him as like a position rivaling Callum O'Hare in that attacking midfield position. Maybe anticipating O'Hare could be linked away. But if it's a backup option, then I think that's a really good bit of business there for Coventry. Because one thing that let them down for not getting to the top this last year was a lack of quality and depth. That, I think, is a good step in the right direction for Coventry. One recent transfer was a bit inevitable. Nick Pope has officially transferred to Premier League side Newcastle United for a fee of around £10 million. I wasn't expecting Burnley to keep Nick Pope in the Championship, honestly. And now that makes things very interesting now to see who their goalkeeper is going to be going into next year. We could see Burnley going to get another goalkeeper. Are they going to try maybe go for the likes of Peacock Farrell? Who knows? But it will make things very interesting. I think Nick Pope has definitely earned his right for a move. Unbelievable keeper and definitely wants to play international football. He's going to not necessarily have that chance in the Championship, but with Newcastle, there's no doubt in my mind, I think he'll now be the #1 goalkeeper. Now, a couple of deals for Sheffield Wednesday. They're making some really good businesses. One signing they made was Will Vaulks from Cardiff to Sheffield Wednesday on a free transfer as a defensive midfielder. I think that's a really good signing, and actually one that didn't always start at Cardiff, but he was a good backup player. So a bit of a blow for Cardiff's part, but Sheffield Wednesday have made a really good transfer now. And 2 other signings that Sheffield Wednesday have made are Rotherham United's double, Michael Smith and Michael Igweke. I've got to say, those were 2 of Rotherham's best players last year. Michael Smith was their top goal scorer. Igweke, I actually think, was 2nd place in terms of the goal scoring charts and actually had a lot of clean sheets. One of the most man of the match performances as well. Definitely their best defender. I tell you what, Sheffield Wednesday are really building a squad next year. They really want to get out of the League One, which I'm not surprised, to be honest. Another player Cardiff have lost is Marlon Pakis. He's also joined the League One team, this time in Portsmouth, where they actually got to play against each other, Portsmouth and Sheffield Wednesday, in the opening day of the season, which is going to be quite exciting in that part. It was inevitable. Marlon Pakis was never really going to get any more minutes with Cardiff, unfortunately. Too much competition in that midfield position. Harvey Cartwright, obviously you may know for actually playing a couple of games in the Championship when, Hull were really running out of goalkeepers. Well, he has joined Peterborough on a loan deal, and something tells me he could be the #1 goalkeeper in that position, which makes things a little bit interesting for me. And one thing that makes things very interesting, there's also another rumour with another Peterborough goalkeeper, which I'll talk about in a minute. Luton have now finally got into the transfer rumour mill, so they've made a couple of signings recently, 3 signings to be exact. First signing was Alfie Doughty. He made a move last year, and unfortunately I don't think Doughty really managed to have a chance to really explode and see what he can offer. I think with this Luton team, in the competition they have in their midfield position, I think Doughty will get more of a chance. As long as he doesn't get a long-term injury, I think Doughty would be a decent signing. But the one that stands out for me is Collie Woodrow. I think him returning to Luton Town is going to feel like a really good sentimental signing for Luton Town fans. And the fact that Collie Woodrow's back in the Championship, didn't do so well last year with Barnsley, but maybe with a fresh start, if he can do similarly to what he did the year before that, where he actually did score a good number of goals, then Luton have got a really good option in terms of the striker, because once again, whilst they have many injuries, the lack of depth unfortunately let them down for even getting better for when they finish. And they've got a new goalkeeper in, which will make things very, very relieved for them. They've got Matt Macy in from Hibernian. Obviously, he played a little bit more in Arsenal, but he was on Hibernian on the loan the year before, and he's transitioned from Hibernian to Luton Town. I talked about it in my rumour roundup, I think it was 2 episodes ago, so I definitely feel that move was inevitable, and I actually think it will be a really decent signing there. Having said that though, Luton have departed a couple of players, one being Danny Hilton. He's left Luton to join Northampton Town on a free. And the one that's really got fans a bit upset is Peter Kioso. He has left Luton to join Championship rivals Rotherham on a permanent deal. Now for me, Kioso wasn't featured, like barely at all. He did make a couple appearances, but even so, as a young player, I definitely feel Rotherham will be a really good club for him. Maybe they'll look at Kioso as an Ikaweke replacement potentially. I mean, quality-wise, I do think Ikaweke is a little bit better, but Kioso, with the Championship experience that he has, maybe that's what he trounces Ikaweke with. And I think that would be very, very interesting to see how he fits in that Rotherham back line. Now, Middlesbrough have really made some great businesses so far. They signed Liam Roberts from Northampton. I think he was one of the goalkeepers of the year, so that should be a really good coup for Middlesbrough. One that really stands out though is the signing they made 2 days ago, Ryan Giles, getting him from Wolves on a loan deal, left midfielder or left wing back. He can transition from left wing back to left midfielder. Apparently as a defender, no one has actually contributed to more assists per minute than him. So he's done a really, really good deal, Middlesbrough, there to get him in. I definitely think that's a really good signing. And one they just made a good 10 minutes ago before this recording, Darragh Lenihan, which I did say he was heavily linked with Middlesbrough and he was going to leave Blackburn. Well, he has officially now signed for Middlesbrough. A really good bit of business again. I'm telling you this, Middlesbrough are not slowing down this year. They really want to get a good squad going with a manager as good as Chris Wilder as well. I think Middlesbrough are going to be a very dangerous team this year. However, they have lost a player as well in Joe Lumley. He's actually joined Championship rivals Reading on a loan deal there. That I did expect to take place. It was one of my rumours, I think last week actually, so now that's been confirmed. One big transfer that happened yesterday was Jed Wallace. He's left Millwall to join West Brom. Now I did mention him, I swear, probably in my last week's rumour, that it was Burnley and West Brom, the two clubs interested. Well, West Brom have been the team that managed to edge out their rivals there to get him in on a free transfer as well. I've got to say, he's been Millwall's best player for a good 4 years. And if he can offer a smidge of what he's offered for Millwall, I think that'll be a great signing. For them getting Jed Wallace and John Swift in, those are two really good players. I definitely think West Brom are making some really good deals right now. I'm really excited for them now. Freddie Woodman has signed to Preston as their new #1 goalkeeper from Newcastle on a 3-year deal. Finally, Preston have got a goalkeeper that they're not going to lose out on the loan deal. And I've got to say, replacing Iverson was going to be really, really tricky for them. But Freddie Woodman, I think, is a fantastic replacement. And I've got to say, Preston and Ryan Lowe have done very, very well there getting him in. I definitely think he'll probably be a really crucial player. Not only just save a load of shots, but to organise his back line too. With the experience he's had with Swansea and Bournemouth, teams that have been right at the top of the Championship, I think Preston have got a really good deal in their hands. QPR have made a couple of signings as well. Jake Clark-Salter comes in from Chelsea. That I did expect. It was inevitable that he needed to go on a free end to get some minutes in. But they've also got Kenneth Powell in from SC Zwolle to QPR on a free transfer, and he is a left back. Don't know much about Kenneth Powell, but I'll definitely look into it. So obviously he's played in the Eredivisie to now. We've had a couple of players move from Eredivisie to here. Some doing quite well and some, not doing so well. But I definitely think that'll be an interesting move for him. However, QPR have lost one player. Jordi de Reach has left QPR to join Fortuna Dusseldorf. I believe they're in the second division of Bundesliga, but I don't know if they've been promoted recently. Some Bundesliga fans are going to have to tell me now because I've not looked into it. Reading have made a tiny bit of movement there. They actually signed Tom Ince. They've managed to get him permanently now, so Tom Ince is going to work with his father for Reading. But the big one for me is that they've lost Josh Laurent. He's now signed to Stoke City. And will he be the replacement of Joe Allen? Because Joe Allen has confirmed he's leaving Stoke after spending 6 years with the club. So maybe Josh Laurent will be in to be that backup centre midfielder, or he'll be that active replacement for Joe Allen. I definitely think a really good transfer there. Josh Laurent definitely, I feel, in my top 3 best Reading players from last year. So I do think Stoke have done a little bit well. I probably would have wanted them to sign a little bit more than just Flint and Laurent at the moment. But they are making some deals happen. So they're doing really well in that front. And in fact, having said that, Stoke have made another signing quite recently. Harry Clark as a centre-back option from Arsenal. So he's been in the Arsenal youth squad. He's been loaned out a couple of times. Harry Clark is now officially a Stoke City player. Still don't know too much about him, but I definitely feel with the pedigree that he's got, I definitely think that'll be a really good signing. They have also lost a player, Stoke. Mario Vrancic, who's been up there for one of their best players last year, has joined Croatian team Rijeka. I don't think I've said that right at all, but it's a loan deal, and I believe it's Croatian. Only a couple of deals left. One really good signing for me was Swansea getting Harry Darling in from MK Dons to Swansea. He, without a doubt, would have been in the team of the season for League One for how consistent he was, and even when I saw him in the playoff semi-final against Wycombe, he was very composed at the back, and I've got to say, I definitely think with the style he plays, how good he is on the ball, I think it really fits into what Russell Martin wants. So I think that is a really good signing for the Swans. I'm really excited to see how he does. One departure for Watford. Chucho Hernandez has left Watford to join Columbus. One big transfer from the Championship to Premier League. Sam Johnston has finally got his deal. And I'm not lying here, when that move happened, this was only an hour after my free agents video, after I said who knows where Sam Johnston's going, but it's got to be a Premier League team. And lo and behold, he does sign for a Premier League team. I said it'd be Man United, but it's actually gone to Crystal Palace, which I probably should have guessed with their model of signing Championship players. But I've got to say, I think that's a really good deal for both parties in that front. It's interesting to see what West Brom are going to do with the goalkeeper situation. Are they going to stick with Button, or are they going to get someone else in? That's going to make things very interesting there. Zinchenko of Nottingham Forest has left to join Olympiacos, so obviously switching from one Marianakis team to another one there. It's a bit of a shame for Nottingham Forest that they really couldn't keep him on, unfortunately. And one that has happened today, I've not seen the official tweets and confirmation yet, but it's very, very likely now that Dean Henderson is a Nottingham Forest player. I'm still waiting to see the official pictures being taken, but it's pretty much confirmed now that they've agreed a deal, and it'd be completely last minute if he's not going to be a Nottingham Forest player. Almost forgot one more player that's been signed literally about 2 minutes ago. Tom Eaves has actually signed for Rotherham. He was one of my rumours that I was going to talk about in this video, but lo and behold, as I was recording, Tom Eaves is now a Rotherham United player. Any Hull fans or Rotherham fans, let me know of what you think of this move, of him returning to Rotherham in the comments down below. So guys, those are the confirmed deals up and now. Have I missed anyone out? Let me know in the comments down below. Now we've finally made it to the rumours, and there are definitely a good cluster of rumours that we're going to talk about today. So one of the rumours is on Josh Marja. He's been linked with Cardiff. Now, the thing is with Cardiff, they've already made a couple of striker options and signings in signing Ebou Adams in. Marja, won't lie, when he was at Stoke, he was quite inconsistent. You know, there's been a couple of times where he supplied an incredible pass, but then there's other times where he would be a bit of a hindrance on the team. So it's really down to the system, and he needs to get his momentum. If he can get his momentum and be in the right system, Marja, I think, could be a good signing for Cardiff if they get him in. One player linked is Ravel Morrison. So Derby are in a bit of a whirlwind, but I've got to say, there is a positive tide in their development to sell Derby County. David Close, a former pilot and Derby fan, looks like he's sorted a consortium, and his company, Close Developments Limited, has issued a loan to the club, which means that they can start trading and they can start and actually play their season. They're not going to run out of money whilst they continue to buy the club. This loan now is ultimately going to finance Derby for how long it'll take for Close to actually buy this club. So things are good news for Derby in that front. Now, Rotherham Morrison is heavily linked away. Now, if they can actually get EFL approval of this, Derby can actually start tying players down to contracts. Now, the amount of time it's taken, they have lost a lot of players already, and Rotherham Morrison, if things are not done quickly, will be another one. Now, it's Huddersfield and Sunderland who look like that they're heavily linked with him. Preston were linked with him, but it looks like Preston are now no longer in the running, or they're no longer considering him as a signing. Should Rotherham Morrison go back to the Championship, or should he stay with Derby in League One? Let me know. Di Cornell of Peterborough has been linked with Preston as Preston look to get their second goalkeeper. Obviously, Connor Ripley is going to leave the club. His contract's pretty much run out. He was in my free agents when I talked about that in my free agents video. Obviously, they got their number one keeper in Freddie Woodman after losing Iverson from their loan deal running out there. So it looks like Lowe is now building from the fundamentals, and he's starting to slowly but surely pick the pieces that he wants from his squad, and that's really, really exciting for Preston fans to see. Now, interestingly, looks like Burnley are going to get Daniel Ballard. If you remember, he was a Millwall player last year, and a year before that he was a Blackpool player. It looks like this year, rather than a loan deal, Burnley are going to try and get him in permanently for a £2 million bid. And that, I think, will be a decent signing for Burnley, I think. Let's say the likes of Tarkowski and me both leaving. I think Ballard filling one of those replacements will be really good. Very young defender and has got a lot of experience left with him there. I think that's a really good bit of business if Burnley can pull it off there, and it's very likely that they will. Another deal that looks like Burnley will pull off is the one that's exciting me the most, and that is Scott Twine. Apparently, Burnley have agreed a £4 million deal for MK Dons to get Scott Twine in. I mean, if he plays anything like I saw him when MK Dons beat Plymouth by 5-0 where he scored 4 goals in that game, I think Burnley have got one hell of a guy on their hand. They really, really do. In that midfield or attacking position there, I definitely think he's a very versatile player in his positions as well, which would definitely really, really help Burnley. I can just imagine Company working wonders with him, so I'm really excited to see if we are going to see the likes of Scott Twine in the Championship. Blackpool have made a link for Anthony Scully. Now, I'm not surprised with this because Appleton, being a former Lincoln manager, he's going to want to try and get some signings in. Now, the problem I find with Scully, he kind of plays in the same position as Josh Bowler. Unless Josh Bowler is heavily linked with a move away, maybe that would be a good backup option for Blackpool to get. Another interesting rumour is on Swansea City's Joel Pirro. It looks like Watford are interested in signing him in this summer. Now, that will be very interesting. Will he be the replacement of Chucho Hernandez, maybe? A decent shout, potentially. Scored over 20 goals for Swansea last season. Definitely had a bit of a difficult start, but whilst he did manage to get a little bit more, momentum there, he definitely was a really good Championship striker in the end. When you give him a good amount of momentum, he is very dangerous. Now, I did talk about Joe Allen leaving Stoke. That has been confirmed. Now, there is a small chance he could return to Swansea. Obviously, he's Welsh, so maybe he could join one of the Welsh teams, and he does have a long association with Swansea City especially. Finally, the final rumour is on Stoke City. They're linked with St Johnstone's goalkeeper, Zander Clark. He's out of contract, apparently. So, for the fact that Stoke definitely needs some rivaling goalkeeping to keep Adam Davies on his toes and potentially Bursic as well, I definitely think getting another goalkeeper in is ideal. So maybe Zander Clark will be a good option with that. So guys, 25 minutes on my recording, maybe not in this video, but that is how long it took for me to get through all of these transfers today. So guys, if you like what you see, please give the video a like and just join us here at the channel. Please do hit the subscribe button if you've not done so. Please tell me guys how excited you are seeing the developments of this transfer window and what deals do you think will happen next? What rumours do you think are more realistic? And please do let me know of your club's current transfer window so far. I'll be interested to know. Please share this channel as well, that will really help too. But that'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching guys. The legendary saw the end of this video. As always, I'll see you guys soon. Take care everyone.